Meanwhile, Fue, who's already displaying polymathic instincts as he sets out to diversify the family business, is gleaning insights that could help him build a happier and more effective company.
I've got actually quite an interesting question because this is one of the dilemmas that I'm currently facing within my organization. Okay. You know, sometimes you have someone who is very strong functionally, right? Come promotion time, how do you choose the best manager? I know that functional expertise and people management are two completely separate skill sets. So how do you usually identify potential leaders within LinkedIn? And if someone is really, really good at their job, how do you groom them to become like a manager?
I think it's a great question. I think there's promotion in terms of levels or promoting someone into a managerial role. To see like who will be a better manager, I typically see three things. So awareness. Do you know your stuff? You clearly know, because otherwise we're not going to promote you to the next level. And if you know your stuff, do you know what's happening, what people think about you, self-awareness and awareness about the industry. And then secondly, I think as a manager or a leader, and they're quite different, I think as a manager, you need to extract yourself from the day-to-day a little bit. So sometimes I'm guilty of not doing that. Like when they send me a press release or a creative brief, I will analyze it to death, and then I realize what I'm doing because I'm doing their job for them. I'm not doing my job. The third is, I think, vulnerability. I think someone who is always like, oh, I know everything, although I don't. But I know everything, although I don't. I think it's a red flag for me. You should be able to admit that you don't know and go find out or ask people to find out. Assuming you know everything is dangerous because you'll be making the wrong decisions, not for yourself only, but for the whole team. So I think these three things are just my little rule of thumb for me. So this is where we have lunch and breakfast, so it's like a family. Having facilities like this really help the relationships, which is a core cultural tenet of the company. Like relationships matter. Connections between our members on the platform is kind of like the connections between employees.
I think LinkedIn is interesting because they are in also human capital in some ways. We had a long chat about management, how to identify talent within an organization.
So I think our employees are purpose-driven. So we believe in one singular thing that we're all trying to do.
And what was also very interesting is how I can use signals in terms of what my competition is hiring for to actually recreate the organization's strategy for the future.